Hey, welcome to the Ill Noise Business Playbook. I am here with Karen Moses of Apricot Lane Boutique. Karen, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Joe. How are you?
I am doing fabulous. I'm doing fabulous. Now, I will say, although you look really wonderful right now, so don't take this the wrong way, take this the right way. The last time I saw you, we were both a little bit more dressed up, shall we say.
Yes,
Can you tell everybody what we were doing the last time we saw each other?
absolutely. We were at the Algonquin Chamber of well, I should say Algonquin Lake in the Hills Chamber of Commerce Gala, celebrating many of the businesses in the local area, and surprisingly, including myself, for receiving an award, which I'm happy to share later. But needless to say, it was an amazing event in January. That was the time when we saw each other last. And yes, we were definitely dolled up for
Yes, we
that
were.
event. It was a black tie event.
Yes. Now, did you, and I know you brought your husband with you as well, but
Yeah.
did you guys end up winning any of those wonderful prizes at the end?
Well, since you mentioned it, we actually did. Surprisingly and excitedly and humbly, we did receive the Business of the Year award for 2024. And being in the business in the area, I tell you, that was an amazing surprise. We certainly did reach out and let people know that we were in the running. And in all honesty, we didn't realize how many people actually supported us. And so that was a really cool testament for us to know that the decision we made was clearly the right decision for this community, for this area, and for ourselves. And I absolutely love what I do. So it was an amazing award.
Well, that is so beautiful to hear. And let's talk about your business. So tell us all about your business and tell us about what inspired you to get rolling with this.
Sure. So, we are a women's clothing boutique. So, we specialize in women's clothing and accessories. We don't sell shoes. And our primary target woman is clearly any woman. But in all reality, it would be the 18 to 91, I will say, because I have a 91-year-old customer. We will style anyone who is within that category group, and it's just been an amazing journey. And when you ask who inspired me, my brother reminded me recently when he came in from the Bay Area for a visit. He always makes the point to come to the boutique and check out whatever we have. He buys my candles. We also sell a small collection of giftware, so he loves the candles. But he reminded me, he said, you know, you are in your element. He says, I don't know if you remember, but when we were growing up, Aunt Sally, which was my mom's aunt, she actually owned a small grocery store in their little town of Laurel, Mississippi. And you may remember that from Hometown on HGTV. But Laurel, Mississippi is where we own a farm that my mom grew up on. But needless to say, our Aunt Sally owned a grocery store. And she, whenever we would visit, I made a point to go to her grocery store and she would let me work behind the counter with her and ring up customers. And my brother said I just absolutely loved it. Like I would get up early in the morning just to go to Aunt Sally's grocery store when we visited. So I have to say that truly apparently was what inspired me. And until that moment when he reminded me, I'm like, yeah, you're right. I remember that.
Nice, nice. What sort of challenges have you faced as a local business individual? Like what sort of challenges have you faced, and then how have you been able to overcome some of those obstacles that have kind of been thrown your way?
Sure. Well, as you can imagine, last year when I did the due diligence to open up, and we opened in May of last year, at that point, the economy and things were pretty stable, if you will, if I guess suppose as stable as they could be. So it was in my opinion, it was like the best time to open, especially even in our area, the Algonquin Commons, which is where the boutique is, had invested a lot of money and energy into the Commons to try to revitalize the shopping center. So timing wise at that time was great. Obviously, now we're going through some different times. The challenges are a little different, but I will say the common thread of the challenge, of course, is driving traffic. It's, of course, finding the right target audience, if you will. I can easily summarily say, yeah, every woman, I could, cater to them. I probably could, but I can know realistically, you're not going to be all things to all people. And you certainly can't meet every need of even your client base. So, I would say that will always be an ongoing challenge, whether it's a great economy or not. You will always have to narrow the focus because boutique shopping is, in fact, different than retail shopping. I know we're in a retail center, but there is a different mindset. A boutique shopper really is looking for something unique, one of kind, different, and they don't mind paying for that different. And it's not just the product, they actually want a different level of service. They expect it. And so we have to deliver upon that no matter where we are location wise, right? But obviously, if we're in the middle of a retail center, you are going to get retail customers. You'll get the folks who come in who are just looking around, and we welcome them as well. You'll get folks who we call the looky-loos, who they literally will do the U. They come in, walk the U, and walk right back out. And then you truly have the people who find us and they're like, wow, this is what we needed. I love boutique shopping. It is not like we're trying to sell them on any concept. They get it. So it will always be driving traffic, but also converting the traffic that's retail into a boutique shopper. And then, of course, honing in that people can find the location. So I guess the last part of the challenge is, yes, we're in a great center that is up and coming, a lot of new stores going in. Where my actual location is, it's situated in a way that people could easily miss that we're actually there on that walkway. And you don't know what you don't know, right? When we look at the site before you're there, great location, but there will also be the need for me to do some other things to help drive traffic. And once they get there, find the location.
Let's talk about that, driving the traffic, Karen. What sort of strategy, obviously in order to be as successful as you possibly can, it's all about targeting your appropriate customer base, finding that customer base, keeping that customer base. So what sort of strategies have you put in place to grow that customer base?
Absolutely. No, that's a great question. And we do have to think about that all the time. The days of build it and they will come are
Yes.
long gone.
Yeah.
So you have to be intentional, you have to be strategic, and you have to be very methodical. So few things that I did even last year before the doors even opened, I of course immediately joined the Chamber of Commerce. I know folks have a different view of chambers in general, but I will say I was very impressed with where the chamber is today. I don't know what it was before, and people can say whatever they want, but today with the new executive director and Linda and Greg, I think they're doing a fantastic job. And so it was something that even before the doors open, I'm like, I have to do that. The second thing is once you join, you have to do something with it. So again, you can't just pay and they will come. You have to be involved. So I prided myself on at least even before the doors open, try to make as many of those events that I could go to and just become very visible in the community because oddly enough, we lived in, I'm just going to diverge just really quickly. We lived in Huntley for 16 years, and then right before COVID, we moved to Algonquin. But in all of the years I've been in the Northwest suburbs, we never worked in the Northwest suburbs. Our jobs took us out of town, took us downtown Chicago, took us to Rockford, Illinois. So we never were able to really establish business in our own town. And so I said, well, if I ever opened a business, the first thing I'm going to do is establish myself in the community, building relationships, getting to know who we are, what do we do. So I felt like a stranger living in my own community because I didn't spend time. So back to, what am I doing? I knew relationship is like key, and you can't just like not take time to build a relationship. So I spent time last year doing that. From there, I really wanted to understand even who lives out here, what types of businesses are out here. So I love even, giving credit to Chamber again, the Cup of Joe before you go, because it takes you into businesses. So I could get a chance to learn people there. And even within my own LinkedIn network, I decided, you got all these like passive like networking connections. And I began to reach out to them before we opened the doors and just let them know, hey, got some great, exciting news. You're in my network already. Let me make a connection for you and let you know what's happening with me. Would love to, know what's happening with you as well. So just really the low hanging fruit, I guess, was the first thing I did. Now that the doors are open, I don't want just to have folks, for instance, let's say, on my mailing list, just to say, hey, you want to join my mailing list? No, it's a loyalty program. And guess what? want to put you in it. And here's what happens when you're in the loyalty program. So it's even taking that piece of service to another level. To me, that's like your big advantage. Like you can get thousands of customers, but to get loyal fans is really what the plan and the goal is, and people who want to come back, and not just because I'm trying to toss a discount at them or, here's a great sale. No, we do pride ourselves in this experience. So those are just a couple things that I really intentionally try my best to focus on.
Really like how you changed that too to the loyalty program. That really shows that people, they don't just want to be a part of something; they want to be connected with you through that. So I think that's really wonderful. What sort of trends do you anticipate happening in the future, and how do you plan on dealing with those future trends?
Sure. I try to keep my, nose to the ground, my ear to the ground on what's really happening in retail first and foremost. Even though we are a boutique average person, it is part of the retail business at a higher scale. So just ensuring that, and even at the basic level, that I'm being on trend. And what I mean by that is I have to know what the latest style is. That's what my business is. I have to know what's coming down the pipe. I have to know what people in the area are willing and want from a style perspective. So, because of my business, that is priority. You have to understand what are you going to deliver and what is that people will invest in, right? So, making sure that I stay on top of that. When we look at the economy itself, I have to understand how things that are happening, even just in the global economy, are going to affect my business, my product. How fast will I get it here? Where will I prioritize in spending so that I can ensure my product is available? So I have to look at those trends as well. And just being fiscally responsible and understanding as a business owner who has run other home-based businesses before, but this is truly the first brick and mortar. So I have to understand real estate to some degree, commercial real estate. Like, what is the trend happening? Like, are people coming to, even malls, shopping centers? And so those are some of the trends I have to keep an eye on. Don't claim at all to be an expert because I'm not. But if I understand it, I can also have mentors help me to dissect it a little bit more and distill it down to the level of how does that apply to my business. And of course, staying a part of small business associations and small business conferences and so forth.
Give us a feel good moment. Talk to us about a customer, somebody that stands out, that really helps inspire you every day to know that you're doing the right thing here.
Oh, wow. So, Joe, that is such a trick question because honestly, every day I get someone who either reminds me of why I chose this or comes to me with a need that I absolutely know I can fulfill for them. And sometimes it's not the dress or the blouse. Sometimes it's just a listening ear, which is, part of what we do. I mean, I wish I could tell you like, oh, yeah, it's a revolving door. I have hundreds of customers come through every day. I would love that. But then on the other side, I know I wouldn't be able to give the type of service that I want to give. So somewhere in between is what I love. But there are days where a customer will come in and spend 90 minutes and not even buy something, but the experience and the exchange and the conversation and just feeling valued is what stuck out for that individual. And to me, I feel like I've done my work. So I can't say there is any one particular, but thematically, those are the things that I experience every day. And I just know that I am positioned where I need to be at this moment in time.
It just comes out. Karen, how do people get a hold of you? Is there ways that they can reach out to you? Certainly give us the address, the location, all that fun stuff. So
Absolutely.
how do people
Absolutely.
get a hold of you, Karen?
So we are not online just yet in the true sense of like having an online presence. We believe that we need to really focus on the brick and mortar that we've started. We do believe that online is a different business model that we will embark upon at some point in the future. So today, the first place, of course, is you can call me. You can call the boutique. Our number is, we also do have a website, but I think the best place they can reach and find what's happening, probably true, real time, will be our Instagram and our Facebook. And you can find us at Apricot Lane Algonquin. And anybody who's on Instagram, that's the, I guess, handle. Okay, don't
Sure.
Quote me. I don't know.
It sounds good. That's their handle.
That's where you can find us as well. It's the same for Facebook. And then for the website itself, which we also have, visuals of our product on all of those platforms, including the website. The best and the easiest way to verbally say this without handing a business card is to say, please just go to the Google search engine and put in Apricot Lane, Algonquin, Illinois. It'll take you right to my page. That's the best way because it's kind of a long website and on a card it looks fine, but trying to say it.
Karen, thank you so much for spending time with us today. And certainly, if people are looking for the specialized service that you're providing, the white glove service, shall we say, I think they'd be very, very happy and proud to visit your store. So thank you so very much. And you have yourself a great day, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
You got it. Take care.